Hi everyone, I'm Swati from Indiahikes and you're watching Trek with Swati. You know, everybody loves the experience of a grand lake set amidst the mountains or maybe in the middle of a forest. And today in this video, I'm putting together a list of some of the best lakes that we see on our treks. I am deliberately leaving out our Jammu and Kashmir treks because unfortunately for a long time we've not been able to see these lakes at all, and I don't know when we'll be able to trek there again. But unknown to many, there are so many other treks where you do get to see these lakes and have magical experiences around them. So that's the list I'm sharing today. Let's get started. Before we dive in, I want to tell you we have a team of expert trek advisors who can actually help you personally to plan your trek. So if you are wondering, is this trek suitable for me? Where should I go? When should I go? Then there's a form in the description below for you. Just fill that out and we'll get in touch with you and we'll give you some guidance. So when we started putting together this list of the best lakes, oh my god, it was not easy at all. It was very hard to bring it down to just 6 or 7 treks, but I am going to have a few special mentions at the end, so stay tuned till there because you have to see those as well. The first on my list is the Brahmatal trek. On this trek, you don't see one but 2 lakes and very different kinds of lakes. The first is of course Brahmatal, which is at an altitude above 11,000 feet, and there's this one beautiful lone tree that sits by the lake, a very photogenic lake. You'll see this in many versions throughout the year. In winter it is completely frozen or partly frozen. In summer it is surrounded by a beautiful green bank. Other than Brahmatal, you also have Bekaltal, which you see on the very first 2 days of your trek in the middle of a forest. This lake is very different from the other one, Brahmatal, because Bekaltal is an oligotrophic lake. It supports a lot of life form. So you'll see this lake in different colors. You'll see it's surrounded by trees. So even if it is not a very big lake, it makes for a very nice spot to just sit by the lake and share stories with each other. So for these 2 lakes, the Brahmatal is on top of my list. The next trek on my list is Deoriatal. Deoriatal, I can say, makes for a trek on its own because even though the lake itself is not that wow, I'll admit, it is the setting that the lake is in, because just in the backdrop of this lake is this Chaukhamba massif. You see Kedarnath, Kedar Dome, this entire background of snow-capped peaks which are always there in the frame, and they are not far, they're up there, they're close where you have to look at it like that. So this particular lake is a very big highlight simply because it takes just hardly any effort to get to the lake. Just 1.5 hours. If you're a quick trekker, you'll reach there in 40 minutes, and that's how close it is to the base camp Sari. So this lake is one of those beautiful lakes that you have to experience. Next on my list is the Kuari Pass trek because of the Thali Lake. Thali Lake, you might see sometimes very big, sometimes very small, sometimes partly frozen. But no matter when you go, it is the setting of the lake that makes it incredibly beautiful, because this lake is also coming on the very last day of your trek. So just when you're thinking, okay, the best is over, you've climbed to Kuari top, you've come back down, and you think the trek is ending, you have this wonderful surprise waiting for you. So it makes for a very nice reflective spot to sit by the lake calmly, think about your past 4 days and how your experience was. It's one of those lakes just for that experience of that calmness near the lake. Next on my list is a bit of a tough trek. I have a few tough treks actually. I'm going to start with Goechala. On the Goechala trek, seeing Samiti Lake is one of those surreal experiences trekkers remember for life, because no matter when you see it, whether it is at night or early in the morning or even after going to Goechala and coming back, if you see the lake, the blue waters of that lake, they are stunning, and you often see the reflection of Mount Pandim in this lake. It's one of those sights that stays with you for a long time because you are also at a very high altitude compared to the other treks I've spoken about so far. So that setting itself with all those big cliffs around, it's a very, very grand view that you see on the Samiti Lake. So that is definitely an experience that you must have on your bucket list. Next trek is a trek that is probably tougher than Goechala, and that is the Kedartal trek. Kedartal, the name itself has Tal in it because you are going to Kedartal, that is your destination. And what a destination, because at the banks of this lake is Bhrigupant, is Thali Sagar, and that entire cauldron that you are in, it makes for one of the most photogenic lakes that we have ever seen so far. And you go there early in the morning when those waters are very still. So whether you're seeing it surrounded by snow or whether you're seeing the oranges and ochres of autumn, this is one of those very beautiful lakes that you must experience. But you have to have very tough legs, good fitness to be able to witness this lake. The next on my list is a trek we explored and documented in 2025, and we had the privilege of even naming it the Chandrabhaga Glacier trek. This trek promises of a fantastic glacial setting, and of course with glaciers comes these beautiful glacial lakes. So on this trek you actually go in pursuit of the Kyaso, which is a high altitude lake above 16,000 feet, 16,500 feet. And let me tell you, this entire trek hovers around that altitude. You start at 16,000 feet, which is above Rupen Pass also. That's where you're starting the trek. And then you get to see this beautiful lake, which is again set up in one cauldron. And at the bank of the lake is the Yunam Peak. So it makes for a very grand setting. And on top of that, if you're fit and if you have the time for it and great weather for it, and if you're not hit by AMS, then you get a chance to go to Gaso, which is above 17,000 feet, which is another very beautiful glacial lake. So this trek has two of these very lovely lakes that definitely you must get to see at some point in time, because it is in the rain shadow region of Spiti, and that's something people have very rarely seen. Next on my list is a winter trek that we have recently opened, and that's the Aancha top. Aancha top is a summit climb, something that's rarely possible in winter. But not just that, it also has these lovely glacial tarns that you see on the trek, and many times it could be frozen completely, and that's what you're looking at. Simply because it's frozen and nobody goes there, it makes for a very nice isolated serene setting that you can actually experience on a winter trek. So among all our winter treks, if you ask me, Brahmatal and Aancha top will give you one of those best lake experiences, and that's something that you must definitely experience sometime. I have two very special mentions other than all of those Himalayan treks I spoke about, and these two treks from central India seem to be almost in every video of mine because they have so much variety going on. They can give any Himalayan trek a run for its money, and that's the Chhattisgarh jungle trek and the Pench Tiger Trail. On both of these treks, you're camping beside very lovely lakes. On the Chhattisgarh jungle trek, it's the Tadiyaban. It's actually a dam called Tadiyaban, and we camp right beside that on the banks of it. And early in the morning, it's covered in mist, and you're waking up to that sight. It's one of those magical times on a trek. On the Pench Tiger Trail as well, you camp on the last day at this place called Nayagaon, and right there you have a lake that is very big, spread out right in front of you. Both of these places are places that you'll not want to get out of. You'll want to camp there every night and maybe build a home over there. So those are the kind of lakes that you're camping beside on these two particular treks. Now there are so many other treks where there are lovely lakes like the Ruinsaratal, the Chandranahan Lake, Manindatal, Barnalatal, but I cannot mention all of them in this video because I feel I have mentioned the treks that give you one of those grand experiences on treks. I've shared some easy moderate treks, I've shared some difficult treks. So if you pick out of any of these, you'll have one of those grand lake experiences, and I hope you get that. If you've seen any other lakes that you've really loved, I would love to know about it. Drop in a comment below. Maybe we'll conduct an exploration and see how that is for ourselves as well. That we are here with a lot more videos about the most spiritually rich treks, about the culturally rich treks. So head over to our YouTube channel. Also hit the subscribe button and bell icon so that you don't miss out on our next video. We'll be back with more soon. I'm Swati from Indiahikes and you're watching Trek with Swati.